Did you know a fascinating truth? Research has shown that the age when humans feel most content and confident isn't 20 or 30. It's between 65 and 80. After spending over 4 decades studying human psychology and behavior, I'm here to share with you the secrets of silent attraction, the kind that only comes from wisdom and life experience. What I'm about to share might challenge everything you believe about aging and attraction. Before we dive in, if you enjoy these insights, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Let's begin. 1. The depth of relationship experience. Life has taught me something profound about attraction and connection at our age. You know, I spent decades believing that influence came from words, from carefully crafted advice and polished presentations. But sitting here now, with 76 years of experience woven into every gray hair on my head, I've discovered a deeper truth that I wish I had known in my younger years. I remember distinctly the moment this realization hit me. It was a rainy afternoon in October, the kind where the clouds hang low and heavy, matching the weight in my friend Thomas's eyes as he sat across from me, his 20-year marriage crumbling around him. In my younger years, I would have rushed to offer solutions, to fix his problems with clever words and strategic advice. Instead, I found myself sharing the story of my own divorce 30 years ago. Not the sanitized version I used to tell at dinner parties, but the raw, honest truth of it. As I spoke about those dark days, about the mornings when I could barely get out of bed, about the eventual dawn that broke through my darkness, something extraordinary happened. The space between us transformed. It wasn't just empathy flowing between us. It was a profound recognition, a silent understanding that can only come from shared experience. Thomas later told me that in that moment, he felt truly understood for the first time since his marriage began falling apart. You see, at our age, we've lived through enough seasons to know that life isn't a straight line of successes or failures. We've learned that relationships aren't puzzles to be solved, but gardens to be tended, sometimes through harsh winters and unexpected storms. This understanding becomes a quiet force, an unspoken magnetism that draws others to us. What makes us uniquely attractive at this age isn't our ability to give perfect advice or present flawless solutions. It's our capacity to sit with others in their pain, to share our own vulnerabilities not as weaknesses, but as bridges of understanding. When we embrace this truth, we become living testimonies to the power of resilience and growth. 2. Transforming failures into wisdom. The most powerful lessons in my life didn't come from my successes. They came from what most would call failures. Let me take you back to 1992 when I lost everything I had built over 2 decades. My business, my reputation, my sense of identity, all crumbled in the span of 6 months. I still remember standing in my empty office, boxes packed, feeling like I had wasted 20 years of my life. The silence in that room was deafening, broken only by the sound of my own racing thoughts. But here's what I've come to understand. Failure isn't just an event, it's a transformation. Each setback carries within it the seeds of profound wisdom, waiting to be discovered. Those months after my business collapsed were actually the beginning of my real education. I learned more about resilience, adaptability, and human nature in that 1 year than in all my previous successes combined. The most fascinating discovery was how this experience changed my relationship with fear. You see, when you've lost everything you thought defined you, you realize that your worth isn't tied to your achievements or possessions. This understanding liberates you in a way that success never can. It gives you a kind of quiet confidence that others notice, not because you're trying to display it, but because it radiates naturally from having faced your worst fears and survived. Now, when I meet young entrepreneurs or professionals facing their own challenges, I can offer something more valuable than advice. I can share the perspective that only comes from having walked through the fire and emerged transformed. This isn't about wearing our failures as badges of honor. It's about understanding how they've shaped us into who we are today. 3. The art of deep listening. One summer evening, as I sat with my 7-year-old granddaughter in our garden, she looked up at me and said something that changed my understanding of communication forever. "Grandpa, I like talking to you because you listen with your heart." That simple observation from a child's pure perspective struck me more profoundly than any communication seminar I'd attended in my corporate years. Over the years, I've discovered that listening is not just about hearing words. It's about creating a sacred space where others feel truly seen and understood. Think about it. In our world of constant noise and digital distractions, how rare is it to find someone who can sit with you in complete presence, offering the gift of their full attention? This kind of listening has become a lost art, yet it's perhaps the most powerful tool we have for creating genuine connections. I've noticed something fascinating. The older I get, the less I feel the need to prove my intelligence or wisdom through speaking. Instead, I've learned to listen at 3 distinct levels. First, to the words being spoken, the raw data of communication. Second, to the emotions behind those words, the subtle tremors in someone's voice, the hesitations, the enthusiasm. And third, this is the deepest level, to what's not being said at all. This kind of listening creates a magnetic quality that draws people to you naturally. Let me share a recent example that illustrates this power. Last month, during a family gathering, my nephew was talking about his new job promotion. While everyone else was congratulating him, I noticed a slight tension in his shoulders, a hesitancy in his smile. By truly listening, not just to his words, but to these unspoken signals, I was able to create a space where he later opened up about his fears of increased responsibility. That conversation became a turning point in his career journey. 4. Building inner confidence. Let me tell you about a recent experience that crystallized everything I've learned about confidence at our age. Last month, I was invited to speak at a corporate event. Me, a 76-year-old, addressing a room full of executives in their 30s and 40s. In my younger years, I would have spent weeks preparing, anxious about proving my relevance in a youth-obsessed world. But something remarkable happens when you reach our age. You realize that true confidence isn't about proving anything. It's about being completely comfortable with who you are. I walked onto that stage with gray hair and wrinkles, wearing my age like a well-earned crown. The confidence I carried wasn't born from pretense or preparation. It came from decades of living, learning, failing, and growing. This is the kind of confidence that doesn't need to announce itself. It simply radiates from within. The moment I started sharing my experiences, the age gap dissolved. Why? Because authentic confidence transcends age. It speaks to something universal in the human experience. What I've come to understand is that confidence at our age comes from a different source than in our youth. It's not about what we can do or how we look. It's about who we've become. Each challenge we've overcome, each loss we've survived, each joy we've celebrated. These experiences weave together to create an unshakable foundation of self-trust. But here's what makes this kind of confidence truly magnetic. It's not about superiority or even expertise. It's about being comfortable enough with yourself to be vulnerable, to admit what you don't know, to show both your strength and your scars. This combination of self-assurance and humility creates a presence that others naturally gravitate toward. 5. Nurturing family bonds. The evolution of family relationships as we age is perhaps one of life's most beautiful and challenging transitions. I remember the moment I realized I needed to shift from being my children's problem solver to becoming their wisdom keeper. It was when my daughter came to me with a parenting challenge of her own, and I felt that familiar urge to jump in with solutions. But instead, I shared a story from when she was young, a time when I struggled with similar uncertainties. As I spoke, I watched her face soften with understanding. She didn't need my solutions. She needed to know that her struggles were normal, that uncertainty is part of the parenting journey. This moment taught me something profound about our role in the family as we age. You see, our position in the family constellation shifts as we grow older. We become like the ancient trees in a forest. Our roots run deep, providing stability and nourishment to younger generations. But we must also learn to bend and adapt. Our strength lies not in controlling or directing, but in providing a steady presence that others can rely on. This role requires a delicate balance. We must learn to hold our wisdom lightly, offering it not as absolute truth, but as stories and experiences that others can draw from. It's about creating a space where different generations can connect authentically, where traditions can be honored while new ones are born. 6. Discovering new passions. At 70, I decided to learn classical piano. People often ask me why I would start something so challenging at this age. I smile and tell them that the beauty of starting something new at our age is that we're finally free from the pressure of mastery. We can learn purely for the joy of learning. This journey has taught me something profound about attraction and vitality in our later years. When we pursue new passions, we maintain a youthful spirit while carrying the wisdom of our years. It creates a fascinating paradox: the seasoned novice, the wise beginner. This combination is incredibly attractive to others because it demonstrates that growth and learning never stop. The first time I sat at the piano, my fingers felt stiff and uncoordinated. But I approached each practice session with the patience that only age can bring. Unlike my younger self, who would have demanded rapid progress, I found joy in the small improvements, in the simple act of learning. This attitude became contagious. My grandchildren started seeing me not just as their grandfather, but as a fellow learner, eager to explore and grow. I've discovered that pursuing new passions at our age isn't just about personal fulfillment. It's about showing others that life is a continuous adventure. Whether it's learning a musical instrument, studying a new language, or taking up painting, these pursuits keep our minds sharp and our spirits young. They demonstrate that curiosity and growth don't have an expiration date. What's truly remarkable about discovering new passions at our age is how it transforms not just us, but our relationships with others. When my grandchildren come over, they no longer just see me practicing piano. They see possibility. They see that age isn't a barrier, but a unique advantage. Last week, my 15-year-old grandson sat beside me at the piano and asked, "Grandpa, what made you brave enough to start?" That question led to one of our deepest conversations about fear, courage, and the importance of staying curious. You see, each new skill we learn at this age comes with a unique perspective that younger learners can't possess. When I'm learning a new piano piece, I'm not just learning notes and rhythms. I'm drawing connections to the patterns I've observed throughout my life. This depth of understanding, combined with the humility of being a beginner, creates an irresistible energy that draws others to us. But there's something even more profound happening when we embrace new passions at this stage of life. We're silently challenging society's expectations of aging. Every time we step into a beginner's class, join a new group, or share our learning journey with others, we're demonstrating that vitality isn't about age. It's about attitude. The beauty of starting something new at our age is that we're finally free from the competitive drive that often overshadows learning in youth. We can pursue excellence without being consumed by it. This balanced approach to learning and growth becomes a powerful example for others, showing them that it's never too late to expand their horizons. Let me share one final truth I've discovered in my 76 years of living. True attraction at our age isn't about trying to recapture youth. It's about embracing the quiet power that comes from years of living, loving, and learning. Every wrinkle tells a story of resilience. Every gray hair represents wisdom earned, and every laugh line maps a journey of joy. Remember, you're not just getting older. You're becoming more of who you were always meant to be. Your experiences, your wisdom, and your gentle confidence create a magnetism that no youth cream can replicate. Embrace this golden season of life, for it holds a beauty that only time can bestow. If this message resonates with you, please share your journey in the comments below. Let's create a community where age is celebrated, not hidden. And don't forget to subscribe for more insights on aging with grace and wisdom. Thank you for watching the entire video. If you find these insights valued, please comment number 1. If not, comment number 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. See you next time.